start really gently. We're going to start to just kind of wake up the body and stretch out areas that are tight after a night of sleep. And then from there, we'll move on to a little bit more energizing work. So things that open up across the chest and help us to breathe and just create a little bit of blood flow through the body. So we'll start in a comfortable seat, and whatever that feels like for you, you can take the hands to the knees and then let the shoulders relax down the back as you gently close the eyes. And we're simply going to start by coming into this physical space and beginning to notice your body. So for me, a lot of times when I sit, I tend to tuck under. So when I come into this seat, I walk those sits bones back a bit, and then I find myself sitting up a bit taller. And start to tap into the feeling of the body releasing down into the mat. Feeling the weight of the lower body into the floor. The shoulders relaxing down the back. Notice a gentle tuck of the chin so you feel some length across the back of your neck. And then with the hands on the knees, just feel that extra weight, a little bit of heat from the hands, creating a grounding or heavy sensation. So oftentimes in situations of uncertainty, we kind of feel like we're spinning a bit. So the opportunity we have today is to be fully present and grounded, really connected to the earth, connected to the ground and the mat. And as we find this connection, we're going to begin to focus in on our breath. Just noticing first your natural breath cycle. Feeling a gentle expansion on the inhale and a gentle release on the exhale. And then beginning to take your natural cycle just a bit deeper as you breathe in fully to the top, almost to the point where you can't take in any more breath. And then breathe out completely, all the way empty, more so than normal. That nice long inhale, filling up all the way to the top. Full, complete exhale. And if it helps guide the mind's eye, perhaps you imagine your breath much like a string, starting at the base of your spine and rising to the crown of your head as you breathe in, dropping down over the crown and looping over the back as you breathe out. And it creates this chain, much like the chain of a bicycle, up on the inhale, over the crown and down to the base of the spine on the exhale. So that if the mind wanders from the breath, you can guide it back to that simple visual. And know that every inhale is an opportunity to begin again. Now on your next breath in, keeping eyes closed, you'll roll the shoulders up to the ears. And as you breathe out, drop them down the back. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, dropping down. Last time, we'll inhale to roll up. And exhale to drop down. Letting the chin hang heavy now down to the chest, feeling the stretch across the back of your neck. Nice little wake up stretch there for the neck. We're going to start with gentle half neck rolls. So slowly, right ear to right shoulder, chin down to chest, left ear to left shoulder. Chin down to chest, right ear to right shoulder, to chest, left to left. Now dropping to chest, you're going to take the hands up and interlace them, dropping the heels of the hands back around the base of the skull and letting the elbows wrap gently around the temples. That extra weight across the back of the neck creates a little bit more stretch. Connecting again with that long, full breath cycle. And slowly releasing the hands back to the knees. We'll take the right ear to the right shoulder. You can open the eyes here because we're going to take that right hand up over the left side of the head and then press downward and outward through the left hand into the knee as you feel that stretch come from behind the ear all the way to the tip of the shoulder. Releasing that right hand to the knee, rolling the chin through the chest, left ear will come to left shoulder. Taking that left hand up over the right side of the head and pushing downward and outward through the heel of the hand. So you'll feel that extra stretch out to the tip of the shoulder. Slowly releasing chin to chest, hand to knee. And then level the head up over the shoulders. We're going to take your left foot in front of the right in a cross-legged position. So just, it might not be your natural cross, but that's okay. And I am mirror teaching. So left foot in front. And then we're going to rise both arms up on a breath in. As you breathe out, the right hand will drop down, the left arm will reach up and over. And you're going to feel the left hip dropping down into the floor as if you're creating space between the top of your hip and the bottom of the rib. Now, as you breathe in, the chest will open up. And as you breathe out, you're going to twist and close a bit, feeling that across your low back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist and close. Last time, inhaling, lift up. As you exhale, the hand is going to land to the upper right corner of your mat. And you're going to push down and back through that left hip and feel that stretch right across the low back on that left side. Deep breath in and full breath out. Slowly walk your hands through center. So now you're leaning over those crossed legs. Broaden the chest as you send the chest through the shoulders, and you're going to feel the hips begin to open up. More than likely, you'll feel this left hip here open up a bit more than the right with that left leg forward. And we're going to slowly take those hands back, shoulders stacking right over the hips, and switch the way the legs are crossed, taking this same series on the other side. Left hand will plant down, right arm will reach up, and we send the right fingertips over to the left, feeling that stretch across the waist, and adding a little bit of pressure so you feel that downward pressure through that right hip. Breathe in, open the chest up. Breathe out, close to reach to the left. Breathing in, we open. Breathing out, we close. Last time, we'll breathe in to open. And as you breathe out, landing that right hand over to the left corner of the mat, pushing down and back through that right hip, and feel that stretch right over the side of your low back on the right side. Beginning to walk your hands through center. Once again, we'll tent the fingers. Send the chest forward through the shoulders, and this time feeling that right hip open up. And slowly walking the hands back, stacking those shoulders. We're going to interlace the fingers in front of the body and press the palms forward. As you breathe in, lift the chest up. And as you breathe out, push the hands forward, push the spine back. So you're rounding into this seated cow back or cat back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Last time, we're going to lift up, breathe in, bend the elbows just a little bit, and push back through the hands as you feel the chest open up. So just creating space where the chest and the arms meet. and slowly releasing the hands down. We're going to find our way onto hands and knees, however that is comfortable for you, maybe kicking the feet behind you. But coming into tabletop pose. Having the shoulders stacked directly over the wrists and the hips stacked directly over the knees. We'll start into traditional cat-cows as the belly draws down and the chest lengthens, we breathe in. And as we round the spine, we breathe out. Belly draws down, chest lengthens, breathe in. Rounding the spine, breathe out. Last time, belly dropping down, chest lengthening, breathe in. Rounding the spine, staying here rounded, really push the floor away and send the hips back just a bit as you feel a nice length right across the center of the low back. Now, let's take your left hand on top of your right hand over across the mat and send that left hip to the left. So you have this diagonal from right to left, stretching across your low back. Coming through center and drawing both hands over to the left side of the mat now, pushing your hips to the right, keeping the spine a bit rounded as you feel that nice stretch come right up from the right hip across your low back. And slowly come right back to your neutral spine. Again, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We'll step back through the right toes. I'm going to turn a little bit sideways so you can see what's happening in my foot. Right toes will step back. Push actively through the heels so you start to feel the calf wake up a bit. And you might even feel that come all the way down into the Achilles heel. And to wake that leg up even more, your toes of the left foot are going to come to the floor, and you're simply going to lift the knee off the floor as you send weight up and back through the hips a bit, feeling that stretch come across the back of the leg. Dropping down into the left knee. Lift your right leg up to hip height, so it comes off of the floor. And we're going to pull the belly button into the spine. And if it feels okay for you, take the left fingertips out into balance. So you're in a spinal balance here, pushing actively through your heel and reaching actively through your left fingertips. Nice deep breath in and a full breath out. On your next breath in, lift the hand, lift a leg about an inch. And then tap to the floor. So pinky taps, toes tap. Lift on the inhale. Tap down on the exhale. And last time we'll lift, inhale. On the exhale, bring the elbow and the knee to meet under the body. Inhale, we extend everything. And exhale, we pull under. Last time, inhale to extend everything. Exhale, pull under. Stay here for a full breath cycle. Make that connection. Waking up through the belly. And then extend out. Dropping the left hand down, you're going to pull the right knee toward the shoulder. Waking up through the hip. And then bring it across and back behind you to the left on a diagonal. Good. Inhaling to the shoulder, exhaling across and back. And last time, inhale to shoulder, and exhale, land that foot to the floor behind you to the left. Now from there, take the forearms down to the floor, and you're going to feel the outer hip on the left side begin to wake up. You just kind of feel activity there. And perhaps a little stretch on the right side of the body. Take the hands underneath your shoulders. Draw that right knee back under the hip, coming back to your neutral tabletop pose. Draw the belly down and lengthen the chest forward as you breathe in. And round your spine out as you breathe out. Now taking that entire sequence on the left, we'll step back through the left toes, keeping them rooted to the floor, and push back through that heel as you stretch across the back of the calf and the Achilles. To take the stretch deeper, if you would like, your right toes will connect to the floor as you lift the right knee up and send the hips slightly upward and back, feeling that stretch across the calf even deeper. Let the right knee drop down and send the left leg up to hip height. Activating through the belly button as you extend out through right fingertips in spinal balance. Holding here, imagining the center point being your navel, and you're sending energy forward and out through the fingertips and back and out through the heel. As you breathe in, everything lifts up, and as you breathe out, tap down to the floor. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we tap. Last time, inhale all the way up, and as you exhale, elbow comes to knee under the body. Again, if balance is an issue, the hand can come down and you can just pull the knee in. Every exhale, we pull under. Last time, we extend and pull under. Hold the connection here. Really activate the belly. Extend out and drop the right hand to the mat. You're going to draw the left knee to the shoulder and then come across and back to the right. Good. Knee comes to shoulder, across and back to the right. Last time, left knee to left shoulder, across and back to the right. Leave the foot there so you're kind of on that diagonal, toes tap to the floor, and rest the forearms down as you feel that right outer hip begin to open. Taking the hands underneath your shoulders, coming back to that neutral tabletop pose. Let the belly draw down and the chest lengthen forward. And round your spine out. We're going to walk our hands back so we're stacking our shoulders right over our knees, and grab hold of a strap or a towel, anything you might have to extend your reach. We're going to take our hands a little wider than shoulders, and as you breathe in, lift the arms up. As you breathe out, draw the hands back. I'm going to sit just a little bit so you're not losing sight of my hands. Push back through the knuckles and feel that space between the chest and the shoulders where they meet start to open and wake up. Now what wants to happen here is the ribs kind of want to open up. Imagine you have shoelaces tied between them. You want to tie them tighter so those ribs stitch toward one another, almost like you're exhaling. From here, as you breathe in, you lift up, and as you breathe out, reach over to the right. Right hand reaches out, left hand reaches up. Feel that nice deep stretch under the left arm. Inhale to come up through center, and as you exhale, you're going to come over to your left side, pushing up through the right hand and out through the left hand. And then slowly back through center, releasing that strap or towel down. And we're going to step the right foot out to the right. So you want your ankle, your knee, and your hip in one line. Lift the arms up. And as you exhale, take the right fingertips to the outer right leg and reach up and over with the left hand. You should feel that come so much deeper than just that towel or strap stretch. It's kind of the next level of stretch here. We're going to circle the left hand down and take both hands to the floor. With the hands to the floor, send the hips back toward that left heel. You're going to feel the inner thigh on that right leg begin to wake up. Simply sending your inhale. So the inhale allows us to notice where we feel that discomfort or sensation. And the exhale allows us to soften around that. So maybe we hold that tension in our jaw or the space between the brows. The exhale allows us to become aware of where we hold and let go. We're going to come back to a neutral spine, sending the shoulders over those hips and taking the right knee down as we step the left leg out. Arms will rise up on the breath in. Left hand to left outer knee, leg on the exhale, and we reach. Nice stretch across the intercostal muscles of the ribs. And slowly bring both hands down to your mat, sending the hips back toward that right heel, and feel the inner thigh of the left leg open up. Again, using your breath to notice where you're feeling these areas of discomfort. And slowly, we're going to come right back to your tabletop position. So just slide that knee under the hip. We're going to curl both toes under, both sets of toes under, and simply hover the knees up off of the floor. So you're going to feel that wake the belly up. You might even feel it through the backs of the legs and the glutes. From there, lift your hips up and send your heels toward the floor as you come into a downward facing dog. And just start to pedal your feet out here. So you're bending one knee while the opposite heel drops toward the floor, and then switching sides. Feeling the entire leg now begin to open up across the hamstring, the calf. From here, look up toward your thumbs and walk your feet to meet your hands. Taking the hands to the shins, we're going to lengthen into a flat back, much like the number 7. Yeah, so you feel that through the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. And then press into the feet to rise all the way up. You will lose my head at this point. Let's take the hands down through the center of the chest. And with your right foot forward, we're going to step the left foot back, planting into the entire sole of the foot. Sweep your arms up overhead and bend into that front knee. Opening the arms much like cactus arms as you pull back across the chest. Nice. Feeling that right across the chest. If you're feeling any tweaking through the low back, pull the navel into the spine more. Go ahead. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Now release your hands behind your back, interlacing the fingers. Draw the knuckles down and back and lift the chest up taller as you feel that opening and energizing across the chest. Deep breath in, arms rise up. Full breath out, hands are going to come to your hips. Back heel is going to peel up off of the floor, so the toes face forward, and you're going to come down into this lunge now. So you feel this stretch right across the hip flexor. And now we step up to the top of the mat. So you're going to use a lot of energy through that right leg. Breathe in to lift up. Breathe out, send your right foot back. Dropping the entire sole of the foot to the floor, toes turn slightly outward. And as you find that solid base, bend into the left knee. Let the arms sweep up, breathe in. Open across your chest, breathe out. So that nice deep cactus stretch across the chest. And feel fully rooted into the earth through the feet. And that lifting energy from the belly button up through the crown of the head. Allow the hands to drop behind the back, interlacing fingers. Knuckles drop down and back, chest lifts even taller. Slowly let your hands come to your hips. Peel that back heel up off the floor so the toes turn forward, and just drop the hips a little bit deeper into that lunge so you feel the front part of your right leg stretch. Deep breath in. On the breath out, we're going to step up. Breathe in, arms reach. Breathe out, fold forward. Taking your feet about as wide as your mat here, and bending your knees a lot as you grab opposite elbow to opposite hand and hang here like a rag doll. Just letting the head hang heavy, shaking the head yes and no. And taking a moment here to notice any changes that you might feel through the lower body as it begins to wake up. Now slowly we're going to drop your hips like you're sitting in a chair and then round your spine up, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Good. A lot of power through those legs there. Right foot's going to step to the center of our mat. Left foot is going to step back into a lunge. So back heel is lifted, toes of both feet face forward. If you find balance to be an issue, heel toe the feet wider from left to right. Arms will sweep up. Hips will drop low. With your breath in, you reach higher. And with your breath out, we're going to fold the torso over the thigh and reach the arms back. Good. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, we sweep back. Last time, inhale, lift up. And exhale, sweep. Yep, I know. Balance is not our friend this early in the morning. We're going to sweep back. From here, your palms face the floor. Roll the shoulders open and feel that really solid strength in that right standing leg. Now let the hands come to your right knee and drop down into the left knee. This is where your yoga blocks, or in my case, I have stacks of books. There's always a compromise that can be made. That's where these are going to come in handy. Great. So we're going to drop down and let your hands come to those blocks, or in my case, books, and send your chest forward through your shoulders as you feel the opening across the left hip flexor. Now with your left hand planted to the block or floor, you're going to reach up and twist to your right side. Slowly send your right hand to your right knee. Turn your toes corner-wise to the right and peel to the pinky toe edge of that foot as you feel opening across the inner thigh now. Taking that twist even deeper now that you've created space between those legs. And coming back through center, stepping that foot firmly to the floor. You're going to take both hands to your blocks and send your hips back as you straighten that right leg. So this is a hamstring stretch. In my case, I'm going to take my books up. Yeah, nice tall spine. So we're going to lift the spine up. Imagine you're sending your lowest rib towards your knee and your chest towards your big toe as you fold over that leg. Sole of right foot is right up off of the floor. So those toes flex back and you feel the entire back of the leg open up. We're going to move a little bit with our breath here, almost as if we're kneading the muscles of the leg. So as you breathe in, we lift, and as you breathe out, we drop into a lunge. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, fold. Good. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, drop down. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, fold. Take your left block outside to the right. So now both blocks are to the outer right ankle. Send your chest diagonally toward the right pinky toe. And you're going to feel a little bit of outer hip engagement here. Sending both blocks now inside the leg and over to the left corner of the mat. You'll lengthen toward the left corner of the mat while keeping the right hip pulling backward. So now you're feeling a little bit of inner thigh and back of leg. Slowly bring your blocks through center. Rise the hips and drop down into your lunge. Blocks can come flat once again, and hands are going to come to the earth. Curl your back toes under and send your right foot to meet your left foot. You're now in a high push-up pose. From here, just lift the hips and feel your downward facing dog. Noticing the difference between this dog and the first one that we took. And as you breathe in, look at your thumbs. As you breathe out, walk up to the top of the mat. Lengthening here to your flat back, the number 7. And folding forward. Rising all the way up to stand. And with your hands to center chest, your left foot will step to the center of the mat. Your right foot will step back into that lunge. So again, finding your balance as best as you can, either stretching out from left to right or just really rooting into your feet. And we're going to sweep the arms up as we breathe in. Sweep back with the hands forward with the chest. Breathe out. Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Last time, we'll rise up. Sweep back, hold here, belly button to spine. Take your hands to your left knee. We're going to drop down into that right knee and find a low lunge. You can drop the foot down so that your toes don't have to be curled under. And from here, just let those hips drop forward and down. You should feel a little tourniquet effect through your left hip and a nice stretch across the right hip flexor. Now this is where I'm going to go ahead and grab my blocks, and I'm going to take them up to their high height and send my hips back, lengthening across that left leg as the sole lifts up. Good. Sending the chest forward through the shoulders. Feel that hamstring stretch even deeper. And I find as we get into hamstring stretches, that's where our breath really comes in, because the hamstrings tend to be super tight. So let's move with the breath now. We'll breathe in to lift and breathe out to drop into the lunge. Go ahead, breathe in to lift. Breathe out to fold. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, drop. And last time, breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're going to take the blocks now outside of your left ankle, sending the chest diagonally to the left as you feel that left outer thigh begin to open even more. Slowly walk your blocks now over to the right, so you're coming kind of inside that leg, sending your chest forward and that left hip back. So now you'll feel the inner thigh a bit more. And slowly come forward into that lunge, sending your blocks down to either side and sending that left knee in line with the right as you come into tabletop pose. Let's draw the belly down and lengthen the chest forward as we breathe in. Go ahead, round that spine out as we breathe out. One last active pose. We're going to curl the toes, lift the hips up, find that downward facing dog, and then walk to the center of your mat and slowly come to stand. So just a little bit more energizing work because it's so early in the morning. We're going to step the feet a little wider than the mat. So your heels might be to the outer edge of the mat. And we're going to sit low into the hips so the knees are tracking over the second toes. Hands are going to come to the inner thighs. Drop your chest down and push those knees out. Good. And from here, drop your left shoulder and twist to the right. Feeling that open across the left inner thigh and the left upper shoulder. Come back through center and twist to your left, dropping right shoulder. And come back through center. We're going to lift the chest over those hips and take the hands out like we're holding a beach ball. Good. Now you're going to lift that left heel up. Drop the hips down. Pulse here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left heel drops, right heel rises. Pulse 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to alternate heels. So it's a left and right for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hands to the knees, drop down once again. And then slowly you're going to lengthen the legs, turn the toes in and the heels out. Hands will come to your hips, fold forward. Hands can come now to those blocks. We want to think about a nice long spine here. So imagine you could take your coffee cups and you could line them right up along your spine and they're not going to roll down off. Start to feel the backs of those legs open. And then let's take the right hand to the outer right leg and the left hand to meet the right hand as we pull down to the right side. Feeling the backs of the legs and the back of the left waist. Come back through center and take left hand to left outer leg, right hand to meet it, and pull down. And slowly come back through center. You're going to bend your knees enough that the hands can comfortably meet the floor, and then send those knees down to tabletop pose. Let your big toes touch and your knees come wide as you send the hips back to the heels in child's pose. Reaching those arms long and settling the chest down between the knees as you let the forehead rest to the earth. Slowly begin to walk your hands back. And we're going to find ourselves seated to the right hip. So you're going to just drop to your right hip, knees will come over to the left. And then send that right leg forward so the shin becomes parallel to the short side of your mat. Yep. From there, the chest will lift up and you're going to fold your upper body down over that shin with hands or forearms to either the floor or blocks, whatever feels comfortable in your body. Sometimes early in the morning, our bodies don't want to come all the way down to the floor, but you should feel inner thigh and outer hip on the right leg. Slowly start to walk your hands over to the left and feel that stretch come even deeper. Walk your hands back as you lift the chest up. You're going to send your left foot in front of the right ankle. Left hand will come behind your back. Right hand will rise up with a breath in and then grab hold of that left knee. And you're going to twist across the body to the left. Nice ringing out through the belly, through the low spine. And we'll come back through center and send your left foot forward and right foot back. So same sequence, other side. Lifting up across the chest and then sending that torso down over the shin. And see if you notice any difference between the sides of the body. I happen to be tighter on this side, so I always feel more sensation here. Slowly begin to walk your hands over to the right as you take that stretch deeper into the low back. And then send your chest up over the shoulders once again. This time your right foot will come in front of your left ankle, right hand behind the back like a kickstand, and left arm will lift up. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you grab hold of that right knee and use it as leverage for your twist. Twisting the torso to the right side of the room. And coming right back through center. We're going to let the soles of the feet come to touch and grab hold of the ankles or the shins. Lifting that chest up, we'll circle from right and then through center to left. So you kind of, it's almost this pot stirring action through the hips and the inner thighs. And then we'll take that in the other direction, circling left, through center, and right. Now, as we come through center this last time, let the elbows drop into the knees and let that chest simply fold forward over the legs. Feeling that deeply into the inner upper hip crease. And slowly drawing the shoulders back over the hips, taking the knees up and sending your hands to your shins. Lift and open that chest. Now for me, I need to scoot forward just a bit so I don't bump into my wall behind me. I'm going to lift my feet right up off the floor and balance a bit, and then slowly with control roll all the way back to the floor, taking my knees into the chest as I go. Keeping your right knee in, you'll extend your left leg long so that you're interlaced around your right shin. Think about relaxing that left leg down all the way to the floor. And let your right thigh come outside of the rib cage a bit so that you can pull that knee down deeper into the shoulder, creating that tourniquet effect that we talk about in the hip. Now from here, keep your left hand to your right leg. Let your right arm relax to the side. And then cross the knee over the body in a twist. So you're sending your knee to the right, to the left, and feeling that stretch over the right side. Slowly come back through center with the right leg. Send the right leg down the mat and bring the left knee in, interlacing around that shin. Think about that left thigh coming down and outside of the rib cage a bit to take the knee into the shoulder a bit deeper. Keeping your right hand to the leg, you'll let the left arm come out to the side as you twist now to your right side. Slowly draw back through center. You'll take both knees into the chest. With your hands to the knees, imagine you could draw circles on the ceiling with those knees. So you're circling the knees out 3 times to the right, and then 3 times to the left. and let the soles of the feet release down to the floor. You're going to send the right leg high up, so send it right up to the ceiling and simply interlace behind the knee. Press up through the heel and draw the toes back as if trying to reach an imaginary dot behind your right shoulder. Just a final stretch through that hamstring. Relax that grip and cross your right ankle over your left knee. So now you're in this figure four. Yep. Now if you feel plenty through your hip, you can stay right here. But if you would like more, you can lift that leg up, interlace behind the left leg, and pull the knees in toward the chest. Again, breathing into the sensation you feel in the hip and allowing the exhale to release any tension you hold around that sensation. Relax the left foot down. Keep the right ankle crossed and let your knees fall to the right side of your mat. So you're taking this twist with the knee crossed over, and you'll feel the stretch where the hip and the low back meet on the left side and perhaps across the front part of that left hip. Slowly draw back to center. Take the soles of both feet to the floor and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side a bit. From there, we'll come back to center and send the left leg high, flexing through the foot, interlace behind the knee, and pull back through those toes. Slowly cross your left ankle now over your right knee, finding that figure four. And if you would like, interlace behind the right leg as you pull both knees toward the chest. Slowly relax the sole of the right foot down, keeping the ankle crossed, and let the knees fall to the left. Coming right back to neutral, the soles of both feet will come to the floor. Windshield wiper those knees from side to side. Coming back to neutral, both knees will come into the chest, hands are going to come to the shins. You're going to lift your shoulders up and try and tuck your chin, maybe touching the forehead to those knees. So you're curling up into the tightest ball you can. Squeeze everything tightly. Take a deep breath in. Relax everything out long on a full breath out. Relaxing the legs, relaxing the shoulders and the hands. And settling deeply into the floor here. Allowing the eyes to remain closed. Softening here. Taking a minute to scan your body. Softening across the skin of the face. The space between the eyebrows and the corners of the eyes and lips. Feel the shoulders relax down into the earth. Feel the hips release. Feel all of the points that are in contact with the floor be heavy and fully supported by the mat beneath you. And as we start a day, the mind often races ahead of us. Let's take this moment to be fully present in our bodies. And to help still the mind, I invite you to take your mind's eye to the top of your head and imagine there's a single point of light resting there. You watch that light gently expand with your breath in and soften over the skin of the face with the breath out. The light releases to the center of the throat. You watch it expand with your breath in and soften out across your collarbones to the shoulders with your breath out. Light at the shoulders expands with your breath in and softens out across the arms to the tips of your fingers with your breath out. Tiny points of light at the tips of all 10 fingers slightly softens and then gently rises up the arms as it meets in a single point at the center of your chest. Light at the center of the chest expands with your breath in, releases to center belly as you breathe out, expands at center belly as you breathe in, releases to low belly as you breathe out. Expands at low belly, releases to the base of the spine and across your hips as you breathe out. Light expands at your hips, releases down the legs and out through the tips of the toes as you breathe out. 10 tiny points of light resting at the tips of your toes begin to gently meet and wrap around the backs of your heels, rising slowly over your hips, softening across your low back and the backs of your shoulders, releasing over the back of your head, and meeting again at the top of the head where you began. From here, you could picture your body fully wrapped in this blanket of white light. And with every breath in, you watch that light expand around you. And with every breath out, you release into that soft white light just a bit more. Knowing that as thoughts arise, it's fine to acknowledge them and simply let them drift off into that white light without attaching a storyline to them for now. Slowly begin to bring your attention back to your physical body by noticing the expansion of the inhale and the release of the exhale. Allow the breath to bring some movement into fingers and toes, perhaps circling out through ankles and wrists. Finding any final stretches in the body that might feel right. And then hugging those knees into your chest. And rolling off to one side as you find the fetal position, simply rolling from this state of sleep into a state of reawakening. And pressing up to a comfortable seated position with eyes closed. Letting the hands rest down on the knees and letting the eyes gently close. Taking a moment here, again, to simply notice any changes you might feel in the body, perhaps energetic changes or changes in the quality of the breath or the state of the mind. and reflect on those changes with gratitude for allowing yourself space to be fully present in your body and create balance through breath and movement. I invite you to lift the arms on a breath in and draw the hands to touch in front of center chest on a breath out. All that is light in me honors and shines to all that is light in each of you. I thank you so much for waking early and joining me to start your day. Let's raise the thumbs to center forehead. And I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Apologies.